let everybody know.
Oops, shit.
Hopefully Zartet, like that was the right link that you had. Hold on, let me just click on it and see. Let me let everybody know.
I think so. It went to session 3, and it was counting down at one point.
Oh, right, I need to get YouTube open here. There we go.
Alright, so IRC, what does YouTube Wolf do? Does it just bite YouTubers? That'd be great. Let's see. Let Spaithiwa know that we're doing it. He likes this kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll do llamas. Fucking Liberia. Hold on, I gotta. Did I get fucking muted on Pound Llamas? Hold on. Ridiculous. These are the kind of things that we got to deal with. And yeah, I did. How dare they?
Rude.
I know, right? That's one of my favorite places to spam.
No,
I
parf.
think I'm going to go with invisibility unless anybody else has some suggestions.
Oh wow, invisibility
Good
is
one.
a interesting. Yep. All right, thank you, crazy and Canadian pepper. All right, hold on. Let me let a couple of discords know that this is going on too. I think I'll let
Shout outs
Jerry
to all the
know about it.
chatters.
Shout outs to everybody in the various channels where we link this right there. Joe Rogan Experience. Let me not put it in Encyclopedia Dramatica right there. But I will let people in the LRH Discord know. Because I don't think we know.
Got a couple of transsexual discords. I'll drop it in.
That's great, yeah.
What the fuck? Oops.
I mean, D&D is really about finding your true self through role play. So that was incredibly transphobic of you to say, Zarta.
No, I mean, I want their input.
All right. Okay, so Kuntz, you're going for. I didn't realize that. I thought invisibility was level 3.
It is a level 2 spell, but I hit the end button in my PDF. That's 577 pages, so I lost what I was reading.
All right, hold on.
It's basically impossible to re-find it.
I think I can locate it with
Here we go. I think I found it.
wizardly spells right here. All right, so let's take a gander at how invisibility is. I think they moved it later on. Causes the creature touch to vanish from sight and be undetectable for normal vision or even infravision, which is not in this game.
Yep.
Let's see. You still make sound. It extends out into your clothing. Remains in fact until broken. Wow, you get 24 hours on invisibility. Okay, that's why it got nerfed and set to level 3. But take full advantage of how fucking amazing invisibility. So you get 24 hours or until
you attack somebody.
You attack somebody, or I think you can will the spell to end.
You could force them to, use material components.
I don't bother with that whole thing. I can't stand that whole thing. Okay.
It's an eyelash and a bit of gum Arabic.
Gum Arabic.
One encased in the you like put the eyelash in the gum Arabic.
I see.
And then close it, and that's you're invisible after that.
Huh. Yeah, unfortunately, there are no Arabs in this world. It's a paradise. But I'm just kidding. Y'all know y'all are my habibis. Anyhow, so yeah, welcome everybody. This is IRC D&D Adventure numero 3, or tres. I'm Zach ZYZ, and I'm going to be leading these intrepid adventurers on their quest to discover why is the sky red instead of blue. All right, so to the very, very leftmost of your screen, you'll see Angie, our ranger. Then we have Big Kuntz, the magician, Logic, our thief, and Zartet, the druid. I will be acting as dungeon master. This is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition because 5e is boring. And I'll fight you. Okay, so Zartet is our archiver, and he's going to give us a recap of what's happened in the adventure thus far.
So, in our very first episode, we encountered a Legion slaver. Our party was caught in a storm and the boat we were on was battered, while on our way to King Geordie in the city of Iran to make alms for some undetermined slight sin we made against the king. The storm broke out, and it broke our boat, and as we languished, we caught notice of a Legion slaver triune rowing towards us. We broke out on our dinghy after fashioning a makeshift second oar, but not before Kuntz raided the captain's quarters and stole a golden goblet, which he hid in his jock. At first, we didn't know where the storm had pushed us, but Zartet was able to determine that the storm appeared to have moved us in a circle, and we were on the coast west of Pies, still far from our destination. The Legion continued to relentlessly pursue us on land, but Zartet was able to stall them somewhat through the timely use of an entangle spell. Eventually, as we ventured further inland with the Legion still pursuing, came upon Big Earl and his men outside the town of Borg. Logic had a history with Big Earl, but was not able to convince the men of the impending raid by the Legion. Zartet, though, was able to implore him to advance uphill to fight the Legion from higher ground. As we moved up the hill, it became apparent that the Legion had already descended on Borg and had begun torching the village. It also became apparent that King Geordie's men on the hill had also been watching, and with their help, the party was able to end the siege of the town. That was episode 1. Moving on to episode 2. At night, while resting in Borg, Zartet has a vision in a dream about the red comet looming in the east over at Darameus. Eamon Grayson, a friend of the family that provided us with shelter and meals, warns us that strange things are afoot. After some deliberation, we decide to head east towards the comet and towards Vera Brink, where we are likely to be able to catch a ship. It was discussed that whatever plans King Geordie had for us are not good plans, and that we should do our best to avoid his men. Our thinking is that with news from Eamon that trade is being disrupted because of whatever calamity is befalling Darameus, Geordie will be preoccupied, allowing us to slip away. Eamon gives us all farm equipment as weapons, and also provides Zartet with a silver ring that is claimed to provide protection. There's a worn-away etching of what appears to be a triangle on the silver ring. Zartet is also equipped with a shovel handle, while Logic is provided with a pitchfork, Angie a bow and some arrows, and Kuntz a claw hammer.
Wooden handle. Important.
Say that one more time.
The claw hammer.
It has a wooden handle.
Yeah.
It's very important
Okay,
detail.
claw hammer with a wooden handle. Got it. After a big breakfast, we began our trek east, following the eastern foothills of the mountains bisecting the island. Eventually, Angie comes across some bloody tracks in our path, and we decide to let Logic scout ahead to see where they may lead. But he loses footing in the ravine and drops to a sure death. Zartet descends the ravine to aid Logic, who is unconscious. Zartet performs a curing spell, and Logic is able to recover somewhat. Here in the ravine, we see the body of the young man responsible for the bloody tracks and quickly loot his body. He has a tattoo of 2 entwined snakes with fangs at each other's throats. Probably some kind of affiliation, though we're not sure what exactly. We're able to get an arrow, a dagger, as well as some sachets of a black powder that we determine is some kind of poison and not explosives. We continue through the ravine and later are spotted by a group of men who turn tail and run away from us up north. It's decided not to chase after them, so we continue our trek east where we see a large Forge's smokestack and again send Logic to scout ahead. Logic comes up to the forge to meet Bisbee, the forge's old, short smithy. Bisbee has a broken arm and tells us of the marauders who have been harassing and stealing from him. He's a kindly old man who offers some whiskey while retelling his tale. He advises that the marauders are posing as Morian militiamen. There's a weedy big talker, a large clunking mauler, and a nondescript fella. We decide to help Bisbee locate the weapons that were stolen from him, as well as the men who did the stealing, thinking they were the men we saw heading north earlier. At night, we backtrack some and come across their lair, which is a cave at the foot of a large overhanging cliff. Our initial plan is to send Kuntz and Angie to the top of the cliff and try to get Logic to draw the marauders out through the clever use of disguise and the gold crotch cup that Kuntz has been holding on to. However, the marauders don't take the bait, and in fact prove to be quite chicken shit. They have some hag or woman with them that is a ball buster, and she is disappointed with them as well. Zartet signals for Kuntz and Angie to descend the cliff, while Logic is able to get the Marauders to surrender quite easily. In their cave appears to be all of the weapons they've stolen from Bisbee, and they offer to return them. However, while this is going on, Angie comes across some real soldiers also descending the cliff, and they appear to be plotting an ambush on the cave. Angie lets loose an arrow and instantly down one of the soldiers, who lets out a yelp. Hearing this, Logic and Zartek grab weapons and exit the cave. While it is dark, not much can be seen. Logic is once again gravely injured by the slashing blade of one of the soldiers. With his sword raised for the finishing blow, Zartet impales the soldier with a spear from a distance. Kuntz, who was also descending the cliff behind Angie, fires magic missiles, while Angie continues to lay waste to the rest of the ambushing soldiers with most of the rest of her arrows. All of the soldiers are now dead, and we pile their bodies out of sight behind a dune. And we're about halfway to Pies now.
All right. Thank you very much, Master Archivist Zartet. Oh, well done there. All right.
Yeah.
The four of you are able to to give you an idea of what's happening here. You spend the night in the cave, and I don't know if any of you have ever camped by the beach, but you're forced to stoke up the fire numerous times. The cold sea air is freezing. So you set a watch, having one person keep an eye on the three marauders, and just keeping watch over the gate while the other three sleep, and manage to make it to the dawn without any incident, despite being extremely weary. So all of you recover, I think, 2 hit points if you have lost hit points, and you take some time in the morning to ready new spells and prepare yourselves for a hard day of adventuring. So before anybody exits the cave to do their daily necessities and so forth, let me give you an idea of what the situation is like in the cave. So you have the 3 young people. One of them, as said, is a weedy little shit of a fellow. One of them is quite stout. And it seems like the third man is this woman who is taller than either of them, and quite hefty of frame, and well built. So she has been quite vociferous over the night, asking for food, demanding to know what you're going to do with her, and so forth. And thus far, mostly your response has been to shut up and you'll see. So to give you an idea of what they've made off with, you have the weapons that each of you was able to take. Logic, you took some sort of a short sword, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so Logic has a short sword. Zartet, you were able to take a spear. And I don't know if Kuntz or Angie were able to take any weapons. I know that Angie was on top of there. But going through the weaponry that they have assembled, you find that there are about 4 long swords of really exemplary make. The craftsmanship is excellent. They're very sharp and sturdy. They'll make excellent weapons.
Are they silvered?
They are not silvered. It doesn't seem like Bisbee has much of a flair for decoration there. Everything is just sort of brutal, and the ornamentation is very, very subdued on all of his weaponry, but they're quite sharp.
And high quality nonetheless, right?
They do appear to be high quality there. So there is another spear with a metal haft there. There is a double-headed axe, and there is a warhammer, which is quite heavy. And the warhammer seems to be like a little bit more ornate than some of the other things there. Additional time has been spent drawing a design of a phoenix onto the head of the hammer. And that's all the weaponry that you were able to find in the cave. A cursory search of the marauders shows that one of them was trying to hide a dagger down the back of his pants, but you quickly relieve him of it. So those are the weapons that you've been able to find. And outside of the cave, the sun is beginning to rise, and you can hear the cawing of gulls.
There's some dead bodies we could probably take armor off of currently.
Yeah, let's loot them. I want my arrows back.
Okay. Yeah, Edgy. How
Yeah, I'm
many?
looking
Do you
for
remember how? Did you
treasure.
keep track of how many arrows you fired?
I have 2 left.
2 remaining. Great. So always keep track of how many arrows that you have available. Okay. So if you guys are leaving the cave, I need to know how are you leaving the cave? Who's going out first? What are you doing with the prisoners? Are you tying them up? Are you doing anything like that?
Well, I'll go out first.
Okay.
Because I have a mind to loot the bodies for treasure.
Okay.
And I also wanted to one of the daggers that was there on the thieves. I wanted to take, so I have a dagger and a short sword. Just to,
I don't think anybody will object to you taking the dagger that they were
Okay.
trying to hide away. Okay.
I think you also had my dagger earlier.
Oh yeah. So remember, you still have the dagger that you were given by Kuntz. You could have like a whole bunch of daggers tucked into your belt if you feel like it. You can throw them. If
Yeah,
you
maybe
feel
we'll
like
do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that.
So
I guess
but
I
yeah,
can
I'm
stay
gonna.
behind just to...
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm gonna like cautiously make my way out of the cave, like not just blunder out.
Okay. So you are you see the rest of you see Logic about to sort of he makes like and heads out to the outside of the cave. You're welcome to join him if you like, or somebody can keep watch on the Marauders. You can do whatever you like. But I basically, the way that initiative will work in this game is whoever says what they're doing first, they act first. Unless you tell me differently. Okay.
I'm gonna stay behind. I feel like I'm a bit more intimidating to these little bitches.
Okay,
I mean,
so you're-
I just killed all those people.
You're hanging out in the back. Kuntz and Zartek, what are you doing?
I'm gathering the 4 swords, I guess, because we do have to take them back to that old man.
Okay.
Maybe
So
I'm.
Are you
maybe
just
I'm getting
carrying them
some
like in a
rope or
stack?
s-
Yeah. You don't
I
have
think
any
I'm
rope
gonna
or
tie
anything.
them together and sort of just throw it over my shoulder.
Okay. You do not have any rope or, as you recall, you guys were shipwrecked and don't have any sort of supplies or provisions and so forth.
We do have the bundle.
Is
You do
there
have the
anything
bindle,
in the
yeah.
cave? How did those people make off with all those fucking weapons? Oh, I guess there was 3 of them.
I
but-
do have a
Yeah.
belt from the dead guy early, like yesterday.
think
Oh,
they
you
made
took his
over
belt?
trips.
Yeah, that could work.
Dagger came with the belt.
Okay. So Zartek, what are you doing while he's fooling around trying to belt all these swords together?
I'm asking the lady, do I know her name?
So far, they have been unwilling to tell you anything, and have numerous times said, "We won't talk. We won't tell you anything. We know our rights."
Well, I'll still ask the woman about the Warhammer and if they've noticed if it has any significance beyond its ornateness.
Okay. Well, let's have a conversation there. So you call the woman over and want to put a question to her. Exactly what do you want to ask her?
If they've noticed any significance beyond its ornateness.
She says, she looks at you and gives you kind of like a quizzical look. She's like, yeah, it's a hammer.
Oh yeah, but it has like this really cool phoenix on it.
Yeah, it's a design. That's how it was made.
All right. Thank you.
She seems dumbfounded.
You could shut up
at you.
again.
You can see that she's trying to hold her tongue because she's afraid of being beaten, but she considers it a contemptuous question. Back to Logic right there. So Logic, you hear loud cawing, and then as you kind of creep out of the cave, careful not to be seen, you can see the remains of the several men that y'all dispatched. I believe you guys killed 5 different men and then dragged them away from the mouth of the cave and rested them against a dune. As you look, there is cawing, and you can see hundreds of birds being driven away by the flapping of enormous wings. Right? So there are probably like 100 different seagulls and small scavengers, and then crabs go scuttling off in every direction away from them. So all these scavengers have gathered, but you hear just kind of like a whoo, 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 whoo sound, and there is an enormous seagull this gull, and you're pretty far away from it, actually. I would say that you're about 100 feet away, because you dragged the bodies pretty far away from the cave, and there are blood trails leading to where you've dragged them and so forth. But the seagull looks like it stands about 6 or 7 feet tall. So it's easily like a little bit taller than you are.
Okay. Does it appear to be the only one? Can I see it directly?
So you can
Or is
see
there
it
any sort of
directly.
obfuscation?
If you are you as you're hold on, let me see here.
Does Angie see it?
Let me see what you're able to. Angie is back.
Angie's still in the
keeping watch
cave.
here.
I'm in the-
Okay. She's still with me talking to this lady then.
Okay, Zarto, or let me actually logic. What is your wisdom there?
My wisdom is 12.
Okay, you're not really able to see anything else. You're so focused on this gigantic seagull. This is like you've never seen a bird this large before, anything like it there, and it is just absolutely ripping these dead men apart. You can just see scraps of clothing flying every which way, and just huge rending bites of a jagged beak, and then from time to time it will like rip off a shred of flesh and throw its head back and like gobble it out of the air.
Okay, I'm gonna like scurry back in the cave and be like, "Hey, Angie, Angie, come here and check this out."
Okay. All right. So Logic sneaks back into the cave and is like, shh, 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 shh. What are the rest of you doing?
Hey, Logic, what is it? What is it,
There's an
guys?
enormous
Yeah.
eagle tearing apart the
Yeah.
bodies out there.
But I think that Zartet can fucking identify shit, can't he? Can he identify what the fuck is going on here?
Zartet can.
I can identify.
Oh, yeah,
animals,
totally.
Yeah, straight out.
Yeah.
I have
Come on
invisibility.
out. You gotta
Do
see
I
this thing.
hear what's going on while I'm in the cave?
You can hear. You heard all the birds like.
Yeah.
And it's,
No, this one is huge. This
Yeah.
one's like 6 foot tall.
Are you like yelling, "Holy shit! Look at this fucking seagull"?
Well, yeah, but I'm like, "Hey, man, look at this. You gotta come out and check this out."
Oh, okay. Give me a
But
rap
it's
on
eating
the door.
people. I'd be a little bit more like hurried.
Oh, well, what are you doing? So Logic has got his message across. You can decide who is going out to take a gander at this big
Who's got the
seagull.
spears?
Let's see.
Sounds like a job for spears.
So Zartet, you have a spear, and there is one other spear, kind of laying along the wall. The as you're saying stuff, the 3 young marauders are looking up at you, Logic, and they've heard everything that you've said.
So Angie could dual wield, right?
Not yet. No.
Not yet.
No, it would be at like a really significant penalty. Yeah, dual wielding
Can
comes
we
later.
ask those guys if they know anything about this bird?
All right. Well,
Good
yeah.
idea.
I imagine I hear some commotion going on outside, and I put my ear to the door to make sure there's nothing right on the other side.
So there's
of
no
it.
door. This is just a sea cave, but definitely you are hearing. If you,
Oh, I thought you said it was closed off at one point. My
no,
bad.
no, yeah, it's just an open cave. That's why it was so cold the night before when you guys are
Got
just
it.
kind of like huddled around the fire and building it up with driftwood. So, you really just from where you're at in the cave, you can't hear much because of the sound of the ocean, like the waves crashing against the beach and so forth, and the wind blowing outside.
I see. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
that
really
changes
gotten
things.
kind of
Then
quiet.
I definitely would have seen the fucking seagulls.
Yeah, well, it's
All right.
it's quite there was a lot of commotion and stuff from birds before, but they've all kind of fallen quiet.
All right. Well, I step forth and like look upon this beast.
Okay, so you go to walk outside. Zarta, what is your dexterity?
Dexterity.
Mm-hmm.
I should know this.
I think it's 12.
13.
Okay, so Zartet, you attempt to move quietly, but you're not used to moving with a spear, right? And kind of without thinking, as you walk outside the cave to set it down, You do it like a little too loudly, like clacks against a rock that's in the sand. So immediately, in the distance, about 100 feet away from you, by the dune, everything is just flecked with blood and gore. The men have just been torn apart, and in the distance, you can see a seagull, but it's not like any seagull that you've ever seen before. And as you're looking over there, immediately you have a feeling that something is terribly wrong.
Like there's a disturbance in what's natural or something.
Well, nothing. No bird should be so large, and you're not really close enough to see closely. But something about it just puts you on edge in a way that your companions are somewhat not aware of.
Does my silver ring do anything?
Are you wearing it, or is it just in your pocket?
Yeah, no, I have it on.
So you've slipped on the silver ring. Zarte, what is your constitution?
13.
Okay, great. That's good info for me. Okay, so yeah, you can see that the bird has kind of stopped, and it pauses and kind of turns around, like giving you a look with the side of its head, like, and it's you see that its beak is almost serrated. It has little fang type things. It's just covered in blood and gore and viscera, just dripping. The whole front of its face is black, and you see its eyes blinking away blood and gore, and eyes on the one side of its head. Blink, blink, blink. It has 3 eyes. And as you're taking another look, you're seeing that around what you thought was like just gore and so forth, and the feathers there is sort of like a writhing frill. It just seems like the feathers there are animated and moving around sort of worm type way. Exactly. But yeah, that guy actually looks pretty monstrous just on his own. So imagine these far, far larger. It's actually a good reference there to have there. So the 3 completely black eyes open up, and it is looking at the side of you. It throws its head back, and it lets out this caw that just shoots through all of it. You can feel it in your bones. It's so loud. It's an incredibly loud sound. And
So this is not an animal I can make friends with, huh?
I don't think that you can befriend the 3-eyed seagull. And just off the top of my head, I wouldn't recommend it, but you could give it a try. It's your game.
So he's given me a look, though.
Yeah, he's looking directly at you, and he just
knowing
gave
look that I
like this angry
know a
caw.
bird would make.
No bird looks like that. Although you're 100 feet away from it, you can't see it very well, just enough to make out the blacks of its eyes. But
Ring's not doing anything, though.
The ring is doing absolutely nothing. Might as well be made out of tin.
Is that something you can identify, Zartet?
All I know is, I know it's a seagull. I know it's a big fucking seagull.
I will tell you that you have
right.
never seen a bird like this before in your life.
Oh, it's like a demon creature or something, right? It has some kind of menacing quality to it.
Something.
Say we fight it or we loot it.
You are not aware that this is going. Although, as soon as it makes that loud caw noise, which is really is like the roar of a lion, you'd probably be heard for miles. All of you are now aware that something big is outside of the cave.
No, yeah,
Big other than the
we got to
seagull?
kill this thing. This thing isn't natural.
Can
I
we?
don't like
Okay.
it.
Are you saying anything, Zartet? Are you doing anything?
We have 2 spears and a ranger. I mean,
Yeah,
surely
on
we can do
instinct.
something.
On instinct as a druid and seeing like something unnatural like that, I would just instantly chuck the spear.
Okay.
Take it
Well, you're
out.
100 feet away from it. I don't think that there's.
I'll
yeah.
move up and.
Okay, so you move up
within
to
range.
attack. Okay, great.
And
So
as
the
soon
bird,
as he
Trying to
goes,
follow him
I'm-
out.
the bird takes wing with an angry cry as you are there, and Logic, you're standing by, right?
I stand by and I say back into the cave, we're going out.
Okay,
I'm
so he
trying
calls
to
back.
do like
You're
an
going out.
across the throat thing for this big bird. Right?
Okay, you're trying to
line that up.
do a through the throat right there for the bird
Intimidate.
as it's
Mhm.
so you're not going to be able to strike it with the spear. Just like at 100 feet away, it's going to take off before you're able to get there. So they're running. Logic, what are you doing right now?
I'm coming out of the cave behind Zartet, but I'm also looking around, trying to be tactically aware.
Okay, good.
That
That's
there
good
might
info.
be
That's all
other
the time that you
things.
have. Kuntz, Angie, what are you doing right now?
One of us has to stay in the cave with the captives, I believe.
Yeah, I almost feel like we should put these people into a position, like these people that we have captive, like
You're out of
into a
time,
position
both of
to
you.
tell them
Yep.
some shit.
Yep, both of you are out of time now. It took too long to come up with something. Okay, so Zartet, you are rushing forward. Then Logic, you are aware of a shadow falling over Zartet. And then you
Zartet,
quickly,
look out!
yeah. Oh, that's good that you called out the warning so quickly. So you hear him call out just in time for this enormous streak to fly directly down at you, talons outstretched. All right, so Zartet, you are. Let's see, what does he do? Okay, so the warning is in time. Zartet, you managed to dive forward out of the path of another marauding seagull. This one even larger than the first, and its feathers are almost completely black.
Can I strike it while it's hitting the ground trying to hit Zartet?
Yeah, you can dash up and try to strike it. What weapon are you trying to hit it with?
Short sword.
Okay. So it actually strikes the ground. It's actually rather big and ungainly, and it hits the ground pretty hard. It went for like a death dive to slay Zartet. And these things are not good at flying. You can already tell. Like there's something awkward about it. Okay, so you're running up to strike it. It is dazed and almost defenseless. Whew. You actually score a critical hit against this beast. So while it's defenseless, you manage to come up and hack at its neck as if you're chopping down a tree. And you open up a tremendous gash in the side of its head. And the monster seagull jerks its head away, just spraying like black blood in every direction there. You have given it a grievous and terrible wound. Okay, so the other seagull manages to take off. Zartet, from the ground, you can see two of these guys. There are two of them up in the air, circling around. All right, Kuntz and Angie, it is your turn to act.
I run out of the cave to see what all the commotion is, because
Okay.
I don't quite know.
So you're dashing out. Did you pick up anything as you were dashing out?
Yes, I have the 4 swords slung over my shoulder.
Okay, so you have gathered the 4 swords up in the belt. It's actually unfortunate that they're belted together now, because now it's like this bundle that you would struggle to get a sword out of. Angie, what are you doing right now?
I'm gonna cautiously move towards the entrance of the cave to make sure that the people are still fucking in there.
Okay, so you're moving towards the entrance of the cave. What are you carrying?
My bow and my 2 arrows, I suppose.
Okay, so you have a bow and 2 arrows. Okay, next. Logic. After you gave that grievous wound to the black seagull, it is sort of whipping its wings around, and you notice that there are talons on the ends of its wing. Zartet, you manage to roll out of its path, but it is just berserking in every direction, snapping its huge beak, and you're forced to sort of roll out of the way. So you're momentarily incapacitated while you're trying to get away from this dude. Then Logic. So you have a chance to try and dodge as another giant seagull dive bombs you this time. What is your dexterity?
My dexterity is 16.
Ooh, that's really good.
Ooh, nice.
Okay. And you are dexterous enough. There's something about the birds really were not meant to fly like this. And the next one that crashes down is somewhere between the white one and the black one. It's sort of gray and mottled, and as it crashes to the ground, you can see sort of silver flakes flying off in every direction, and you can see that parts of its wings have like scales flaking off of them, and the bird turns and wheels at you, and its neck is sort of long and almost serpentine, and it has patches where it looks like it's almost having like mange or some disease or something like that. This one, its eye sockets are empty, right? And then in the middle of its forehead, this big, almost like wound has opened up, and there's sort of a green, glazed over eye peering out of it, staring at you. It's just something is very, very wrong here. So because it missed its attack, you were able to take another attack of opportunity here. But this one is not as stunned as the first one was.
Go, Zartet, it's right behind you.
So, Logic, you're going for it?
I am going for it, yes.
Logic, as you run up on this guy to attack it, you were a little bit pulled, you were gulled, some might say, by how easy it was to attack the first one. The first bird was stunned. You were not prepared for the almost blinding speed of the second one, and the way that its neck sort of snakes out, dodging around your blow and immediately counterattacking you. It sinks like its very wicked beak into your shoulder, and then you suffer. Luckily, because you were on the attack there, you're able to pull back in time, just as like its sort of beak is snapping onto your shoulder. And it just does 1 point of damage to you. But there's a deep there's a deep groove cut into your skin, and immediately you feel the cut begin to burn. Like it's just something is definitely wrong with that cut. Okay, Zartet, you have the chance to act.
So it's a group of birds. Am I understanding?
There are 3 of them so far. They are gigantic seagulls. Each of them is probably stands about 7 feet tall, and each weighs about 90 to 110 pounds.
Mm-hmm. They're flying.
They are flying. One of them is grievously wounded and sort of gnashing and snapping its beak. The other one just tried to dive bomb Logic, and it was grounded. But it managed to score a bite on his shoulder. And then the other one, you don't see it at the moment.
How far away are the bodies from the mouth of the cave?
Okay. So we said that a little earlier.
Right?
They are about 100 feet away from the mouth of the cave. It is now Zartet's chance to act.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. I still have a hold of my spear, right?
You were able to hang on to the spear. So you've got the one bird kind of like berserking around, the other one squaring, the one with like the kind of serpentine neck squaring off against Logic.
Oh well, I'm gonna go defend Logic.
Okay. So you attempt to attack the serpent bird.
Yeah, run up and give a jab with the spear from however far I can with the spear.
So you go after it, but unfortunately you have
While
not...
he's doing that, I'm like, be careful of its bite.
You're able to say, beware its bite in time. So Zartet, you are not, unfortunately, proficient with the spear. It's not a weapon that you've trained with a lot. So your attack is unfortunately clumsy. And again, that like writhing neck makes it very difficult to land any kind of blow. So it's able to dodge your attack, but you are not harmed in the process, and you're able to stay away from the other bird. Then again, you hear a furious caw, and the initial bird is now dive bombing you, Zartet.
Great.
Okay. However, this one, its talons just rip through the top of your hair. And slice off a few of your hairs that are remaining. But fortunately, that's it. They snap shut, but you just ducked under its talons, and then you're buffeted by the force of its wings, just like knocking you down, and are again knocked to the ground. All right, Angie, you have made it to the outside of the cave. You can see what's going on. About 100 feet away, you see these birds, but Kuntz, you were first to the draw. Now you have the option to act. But you have a bundle of 4 swords.
Yeah, so I empty my hands. I just throw all that trash on the ground.
Okay, you drop the 4 swords.
Because I see everyone struggling with this bird with the writhing neck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take my magic missile, which has a range of 90 yards.
Uh-huh. You can easily hit it with the magic missile.
To cast magic missile.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
So you're able to cast a magic missile, and what's the damage now that you're level 3 on this spell?
The damage is consistent at 1d4 plus 1, so it never really changes.
You actually get more. It gets stronger as you level up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Eventually magic missile does get stronger, but let's see what you're able to do.
Or you know what? I think there's multiple missiles.
Yeah,
each one is 1d4. I think I get 2 or 3 now.
You get 2 or 3 now. Okay. Let's figure that one out real quick. I feel like magic missile will come up a couple times. I'm sorry, I don't know this off the top of my head. It's been so long since I've played ye old Dungeons and Dragons. But
like 3 missiles.
Magic missile. Let's see.
I know it caps out at 5. I just don't know what level that is.
Every 2 extra levels of experience. So you have 2 at the 3rd level.
2, okay.
Okay. So you're actually going to get to fire off. You've gotten so the last time that you cast your magic missile spell, you gained an understanding of the arcane workings of the spell, and you feel like you're finally strong enough to fire off 2 missiles simultaneously. And indeed, you can even fire them at separate targets if you really feel like it, because you're especially proficient as a mage. But right now, you choose to send all of your force after the serpent-necked monstrosity.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And so you're able, like your magic missiles hum through the air, unerringly seeking the target of your mind's eye, and they blast in to the wicked. They just hit it right in the eye, and they blinding it completely. So both magic missiles strike the eyes on both sides of its head, and it's blinded. And I would say that it looks like it's grievously wounded. And it, like the other one, now you have 2 birds just thrashing about like wild and snapping towards any sound that they see there. Angie, you have a chance to act.
Can I just like fire off a shot at both one of them? One of them.
Yeah, you can absolutely take a shot at one of the birds if you so choose. There's one bird that is sort of has taken off and is flying around. Then you have a black one that's thrashing around that has been mortally wounded by logic, and then you have the one that Kuntz just shot. And there's another one circling around. So that one is uninjured, and it's probably the largest threat, but you would have to try and shoot a bird that is circling above you and flying around in the air. So it'd be a hell of a shot if you could make it. That bird is also probably the largest threat to you right now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a shot at it. Fuck it.
Okay. So you take a shot at the big bird. All right. So this is the white seagull with 3 eyes on either side of its head. So let's take a look. Okay. Unfortunately, your arrow flies wide. It's very difficult to shoot a bird on the wing, even one that's as large as this. Okay. Behind you, you hear Rusher. And then the 3 marauders rush at you with the weapons that they've been able to pick up there. So you have 3 people attacking you from behind, and you wheel around to defend yourself. Unfortunately, all you have is your bow. So let's see.
What the fuck?
Okay. So one of them strikes you pretty soundly in the back with the warhammer. That's the woman. So you are hit from for a pretty serious blow. Because you're taken unaware. You take 3 points of damage. She's hit you as hard as she can with a warhammer in the back. It's not something that you... Fortunately, you were able to sort of dodge out of the way in time, but ooh, it still hurts. She like got you right in the back of your shoulder, and that is going to bother you for days to come. However, so the weedy little one is coming after you with... what did he pick up there? He's got a short sword that you did not see previously. So he's got a short sword, and he's coming after you and about to attack you. But just as he tries to, the sort of big fat one rushes and with the double-bladed axe, and their legs get tangled up with each other. They don't know how to fight at all, and he actually winds up hitting the little guy with his double-bladed axe in the confusion, actually significantly wounding him there. So he winds up, you're just able to see, like he holds up a hand, like stop this, and that's not what you do to stop an axe there. So his hand has been terribly wounded there. Okay, so you hear a cry from behind, and you can see that Angie has just been struck in the back by a hammer cunts. All right, now, unfortunately, Angie was not able to stop the big seagull in time, and it's still piping mad at you, Zartet. So it makes another dive attack.
Uh-oh.
Did
Okay.
I lose any hit points last time when I was knocked prone?
When you were knocked prone, no, you were just like the wind like knocked you off of your feet. But unfortunately, this time the bird manages to streak down. He's unable to get his talons around you because you're already on the ground and you manage to roll away. But the beak really is almost like a big barbed scythe. So unfortunately, that manages to catch you on the back of your leg as you're trying to roll away. And you suffer 6 points of damage. It's just like a wicked cut right there. And immediately you feel like a burning sensation running through your leg. Logic. So you just saw him get injured right there. You feel a little lightheaded at the moment. But at the same time, you have a chance to attack this bird that has just hit Logic because it's landed and now it's kind of like awkwardly like moving around.
Yeah,
with its
in
legs.
its moment of flat-footedness, I'm going to strike.
Okay. Okay. You are able to land a powerful blow against this one, and indeed you strike it right between the eyes and manage to cleave its face wide open, doing a huge amount of damage to it. It is a... Yeah, you did 8 points of damage in one swing of that guy there. So now you have all three of these beasts just thrashing and bleeding, and eventually the black one and the scaly one get tangled up in each other, and they're just attacking each other and tearing each other to pieces.
We should throw the kids at the gulls.
Okay, so Zartet and Logic, you are out of this. So, Kunz, you see that Angie is stunned momentarily. She's just been hit in the back by a warhammer, but she is rising up now, and she looks pissed. But you have a chance to act. You can see that two of the boys have like sort of fallen down into a tangle, and they're like clubbing each other. But the girl has raised up her warhammer, and she's looking to hit Angie again. You have a chance to act before she can.
So I approach the woman who has no name with her hammer, and of course I wield my own significantly more powerful claw hammer. My hammer can not only bash things, but it can remove nails. And I flip it around so that it's claw forward. I swing it at her.
You attack her with the claw hammer while she's wielding a warhammer. I am sure
With the wooden handle.
Yeah, I am sure that that was the very last thing that she expected to happen right there.
I've got your back,
Don't
Angie.
hurt him.
Okay, with the claw end of your hammer, you run up upon her, and drill her with this hammer. It just sinks in so deep into the meaty part of her shoulder. It's stuck in there good. Ooh, and you did 6 points of damage plus 1. She crumples to the ground, just shrieking, and you are still holding on to the hammer. The warhammer falls from her grip. She just did not expect the fury of the claw hammer right there. Yeah, she is just screaming in pain, and the gulls are like screaming and tearing each other apart. Everything has gone tits up early in the morning right there. Okay, so it seems like from this point, you guys just kind of you probably decide that you can let. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that you would probably decide to let the gulls tear each other apart. You're not trying to weed in there.
Yes. No.
Okay.
I'm pulling on Zartet. We're going back.
Yeah,
We're
you guys can
away
limp away.
slowly.
Zartet needs your assistance to walk. He has a pretty serious wound to the back of his.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, he's been bit pretty bad. Both of you are just feeling like a little weary, but it feels natural for you to help Zartet there. You really, ever since he healed you, you have just felt like a little bit more inclined towards Zartet. Maybe it's just maybe you're just happy that he healed you up. So all of you limp back to the cave, and after a little bit, it's all over but the crying. The gulls tear each other apart. The marauders are terribly wounded. The only one that's unhurt is the fat one, who actually sustained an injury. The little guy bit him on the forearm and took like a chunk out of his forearm. In their battle, they're all pretty tore up right there. So it's a great start to the morning. It's not even breakfast time, and already everybody is stupendously fucked up. Well done. Okay, so we're an hour in. So now it's time to take
Not in a good way.
now it's time to take a break, and we'll assess the damage and see what's left at the end of all this. So we will be back in like 5 minutes.
It's done.
We totally should have stayed in the cave, dude. I was like, dude, if we can use these kids to our advantage and just be like, yo, dude, I'm gonna send you out there to the gulls if you don't tell me what the fuck is going on.
Did it go deeper, or is it just like under a rock or something? I thought that there was like a closed off portion to this cave that we were in. That was
that's what I thought too.
Because they had like a fire outside.
Okay, fair.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, well, I think that he said that the smoke was billowing at the front, so it was not well thought out. These people are retarded.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. I will be right back.
Oh, the cat is straight chilling. Hell yeah. So Duran 6, they have not yet gone back to the blacksmith. They just recovered all of his stolen weapons and so forth there. And just really did a number on the thieves. Good God. I think their quest was to kill them, but they wound up just hurting them pretty bad there. I like that Kuntz is spending his entire like R&R session. He's not like getting pizza or whatever. He's just petting a cat. Aw.
Ah.
Yeah. Is the cat like sick or something? Is he just, or is he always just chilling in that spot? Aw. That's pretty fucking cute.
Cat's gonna puke.
No, they're good at that. Kunz is gonna puke, but he likes it. Oh. Oh. Big glitch right there. Oh, it's
That's
meowing.
a great name for a cat.
It's having the time of its life. That cat lives better than I do. Oh. He doesn't know what to do with himself. Oh.
When I look at anybody else's screen, like out of the corner of my eye, that fucking terrifying seagull looks like Puppy.
It's ridiculous right there. I was saying that that's why the cat is sick or whatever. No, I was just like wondering because it looked like it had like a special spot set up, or maybe that's just the cat's chair and it likes having like that big high, like recliner spot to chill in. But yeah, when I just saw like the blankets and stuff sit there, I was like, oh, I wonder if the cat's like feeling okay. It's probably fucking fine. Cats are just cats. All right. Oh no. Now Puppy is joining the fray. He's like snuffling around. Like, oh. Oh. Oh, what a gremlin. Oh. That's like half the fun of D&D, just seeing other people's like dogs and shit. All right, well, welcome
I don't
back.
know what my
All right, let us begin again. Const, did you get a haircut or something? Looking dapper as fuck there.
The man.
No, I'm just not wearing a hat today.
Okay.
Probably.
That's all it is.
It's in a bun. I don't know if you can.
Yeah,
see
yeah. Like fucking rocking it.
I just put pizza in the oven, so in 5 minutes I'll have to leave for like 10 seconds just to grab it. But
That's fine. That's fine. That's a powerful
I
oven
haven't
right
eaten all
there.
day. I am very hungry.
All right, well, you'll have a little bit of time. All right, so now you can make some sense of what's going on here. So here is the situation, cunts. The girl, you're the only one with like any real healing sense here. The girl with the warhammer is bleeding very badly. Kuntz has sunk a claw hammer into her arm, and you think that he has probably opened an artery. So she is in terrible shape. And additionally, the other one, the wee little shit, has, from what you can see, it looks like he's lost about 3 fingers on his left hand. Then the big one has like a big human bite on his forearm. Logic just has like a pretty bad scratch, and his shirt is all ripped up. But he got bit by that bird, but he seems like he's a little out of it. You, as well, are not feeling 100% right here. Just something in that, something about being bitten by those seagulls does not agree with you. And your leg is pretty injured. You took a serious wound right there. So each of you has the option to do things. Probably the first person that can act is Kuntz and Angie. So you can see that all of this is going on. You can choose to either render aid to these people, or finish them off, or say whatever you want. I'm sure that you're not too happy about being
because they've essentially fucked over the old man and then us, and then tried to attack us last night and then again today. I'm not going to straight out kill them, but I'm just going to leave them to die because I feel as if they're probably just going to die out here, or at least maybe not die.
I want to
but they'll
yell
have
at
a
that
bad
lady
day.
the whole time.
Okay. Yeah, what are you yelling at her? She's just like, it hurts.
Right, bitch.
She's like, please help me. Oh, God. I'm sorry.
I mean, they should leave town and never come back. I don't want to see these guys.
Well, you guys are
ever
nowhere near a
again.
town.
It
Yeah,
kind of
you're-
sounds like the woman's going to die if we hit an artery in her shoulder.
she's almost certainly
Yeah,
going to bleed out. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want anybody to. I don't want to kill them. I want to know what the fuck their deal is. Just be like, talk. Tell me what the fuck is going on.
They are in no condition to talk right now. They will probably bleed out unless somebody offers assistance. So Zartet and Logic, what are you doing right now?
I'm gonna tell Angie and Kuntz that like whatever's in that bite, I don't know. There's something in that bite. Like I'm not feeling too hot.
Yeah,
Just to like inform them, in case I face plant, something in that bite.
yeah.
How far away am I from Zartet and Logic?
So I'd say that they are probably like about 25 feet away from you. They're moving towards the cave, sort of away from.
I'm gonna run over to them because Zartet looks like he's struggling to help Logic, and I'm just gonna help them back to the cave.
Okay, yeah,
We don't really know what's going on. Maybe there's
very nice of
more
you to give
deadly
assistance.
birds.
Yeah, you notice that they're like a little woozy, but they're not too bad. So you're not sure how. Zartet definitely seems like a little bit more out of it than Logic, but he has a bad bite on his leg. He really is. That wound needs some attention.
Is it like my thigh or my calf?
It's your calf. The back of your calf has just been ripped up pretty badly right there, and you are bleeding. That's pizza time. Well, it was nice of it was very nice of Kunz to help you out before he had to get pizza. Okay, so yeah, you guys can take an action if you want. If you're feeling too out of it to act, we can go back to Angie.
The kids, what are they doing? I mean, they're just
sitting
there crying?
Yeah, literally they are bleeding and sobbing. The fat one, like with the chunk taken out of his forearm, is just like huddled against the cave, like fuck you guys, and he's muttering and everything. And both the weedy little one that has fingers chopped off and the girl that's bleeding out are just crying out in agony. They are really not good at fighting.
Are the four of us enough to carry all the weapons back to Bisbee by ourselves, or would we require multiple trips or the kids' help to take it all back?
Assuming that both of you can walk, the four of you could easily carry all these weapons back. You do not need them, but they are looking at them now. It's easy to see that these are like teenagers for the most part. The girl might be 17 or 18, but the fat boy is probably like 15 years old, and the weedy little one is probably like 16 or 17.
Have we eaten? I can't even remember.
You have not
food
eaten.
yet.
Yep, and you have no food to eat.
Or do those
Bisbee
pigeons
has
look
food.
edible?
Do the what look edible?
The giant seagulls.
I gotta
No,
say,
they're
I
like
gotta say,
zombies.
no. The like,
I'm not eating demon flesh, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what those.
Yeah, I guess
birds
technically it's possible.
I mean, maybe for you two, you guys have already been bitten. You guys might turn any moment now.
okay. I will tell you that that girl is rapidly losing blood. She is making a lot of noise and everything, but
Can I
her
just
voice is
try to,
definitely
help
getting
her out
weaker.
a little bit?
You could absolutely try and stabilize the wound if you want. Yeah. Okay.
I
So,
hate her, but
yeah.
I'm like,
Angie-
I'm turning a blind eye to all of this.
Oh wow, you're turning a blind eye to all this. So Angie,
Yeah, I mean,
Zartet.
yeah. So Angie, you are able.
I'm too concerned about my bite, quite frankly.
Okay, gotcha. I think that's fair. Angie, what's your wisdom?
13.
I mean, I'm old. This is life threatening.
Okay.
It could be.
So Angie, like as you're working on this, you wish that Zartet wasn't so injured, because really you just do not know a lot about tending to wounds and dealing with. You're just used to helping yourself and not helping others so much, and you really have to get your hands dirty and wind up deciding that you need to apply a tourniquet to this arm. So you tightly knot it off, and you're able to stop the flow of blood to the arm. But this girl is going to be in serious condition right there. Her skin starts to go pale. You notice that her lips are turning blue, and her eyes are kind of rolling. So she's in terrible shape right there. The The boy
Since we're
who is
so hungry,
Yeah.
we could wait for her to die naturally and just cook and eat her.
it is true. Cannibalism is definitely taboo in this world, as it is in ours. Yeah. But that's it's your adventure, and you can play it however you want. All right, there. But if anybody hears about you eating people, you'll probably be hunted down. Okay. So it looks like the fat kid is taking care of himself. But if you want, Angie, you can also attempt to bandage the bleeding fingers for this kid. He is just hopeless. He's just like, I lost my fingers. And he's like trying to gather them up, and they're all covered in sand and everything.
I want to help him.
Okay. So you attempt to bandage him as well. And you're getting the hang of it. So you also are able to just tear some shreds off of his shirt and bandage his hand and tell him to put pressure on it. And that's what you get for stabbing me in the back. Okay. So now Zartet and Logic, what are you going to do?
I mean, I want to find out more about who they work for.
Okay. So yeah, you were still bleeding, by the way. So Logic, you take an additional point of damage as blood is seeping from your wound, and it just doesn't seem like it's not coagulating correctly.
Logic does, or I do?
Logic takes a point of damage from his wound, and then Zartet, you take 2 points of additional damage from the wound.
Great.
You're just losing
Great
a lot of
ass.
blood. Yeah.
You gotta do something about that.
Hey, Zartet, you might want to cast some of your magic there.
Oh no. We can't be frivolous with our magic, son. That's something you'll learn.
Yeah, but if you die, then we're out all your spells. So
Well, we must
You
get
should
out
do
of
it.
here.
Maybe you should inspect
We
that.
have to get out of here.
Try to help them too, or like try to at least
Okay.
like
So
bandage everybody up. At least.
yeah. Angie, unfortunately, you don't have clean bandages and so forth. So for the other kids, where you were just stopping like grievous wounds that were going to cause them to bleed out, you were willing to just bandage them up and so forth. But Zartet's wound is more surface level. It hasn't hit anything deep or whatever. It's just jagged and ugly, and he's just both of them are just kind of seeping blood in a strange way.
Are any of the three seagulls dead?
They're all dead. Yeah, they've torn themselves
so
a bit. So the
I'm
beach around
taking
them
a
is covered with
small
like
sample of one of the seagulls to bring back to the town. Maybe it would help them identify what actually bit or
yeah,
harmed
their
our
scales.
Yeah, what piece of the seagull are you going to cut off?
I'm just going for a cleaner midsection, like the belly. I just sort of cut a square, just large
Okay.
enough to maybe somebody back in town, if you show it, be like, "Hey, do you know what this is? It was a giant bird that attacked my friend."
Get the scales.
Yeah.
A
So
sample for science.
so
Yeah.
Kuntz, as you are trying to like cut off a swatch of the flesh, you notice that the feathers are like sticking in your hands like quills. You take a point of damage, and you feel like a burning sensation in your hands.
Like fiberglass.
Yeah, it is very uncomfortable right there. Yeah,
Well, it is for my friend Zartet. He
Yeah,
does
and-
look like he's in bad shape.
yeah. Immediately, you feel like it's a mistake to touch these things at all, and you have to abandon your attempt. You would need like heavy gloves or something like this to handle these guys.
Zartet, is your berry spell that you just got, do those have any sort of thing? I mean, would that have any sort of possible effect of possibly stopping a poison at all? Or is it just strictly 1 hit point? What's up with that?
Yeah, no, that's all it is. It's 1 hit point.
Okay.
You could also do the reverse of it, I guess, as well. Bad berry, and it makes like a poison berry.
Poison berries. I will tell you that in the context of this game, like regaining hit points does things like stop bleeding, and it does assist with current conditions. Like the magical healing is considered to like close up blood vessels and assist in healing and so forth. So it will
Yeah.
that spell would be effective at like helping you out.
I could cure light wounds. I could. Yeah, I'm kind of waiting to get to higher ground where we might find berries because I have to find. Berries
Just
first.
assume that you have that, like, you guys have been traveling for a day and you are a druid. You've been able to find the berries necessary to cast that spell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should I roll the 2d4 then?
Yeah, let's go for it. Here, let me. I've got these 2d4 right here. So, you take a handful of winter berries that you were able to pluck along the way and secreted for just this purpose. You are able to create 4 good berries.
Cool.
Yeah, sadly, there's not like a lot of berries and so forth. Like a lot of the landscape has been kind of picked bare.
But it stopped the bleeding at least.
Well, you create the berries. How many do you want to eat?
I'm gonna eat all 4.
Okay. Eating all 4.
I mean, I could. Yeah.
Do you want to?
I mean,
Do you want?
pretty-
Okay.
Can I have just one?
Oh.
Yeah, Magic's bleeding so
So
bad.
she saved some for my crew. Yes.
Okay.
I'll take 1 if it stops the bleeding.
Yeah. When you take one of the berries, you immediately start to feel significantly better, and the blood stops seeping quite so badly. So yeah, it's a solid one there, and so you heal 1 hit point, and you are no longer bleeding.
Let me have one of those.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Give 1 to logic.
Okay, logic.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, the berry does stop your
I
bleeding.
do like a
Yeah.
a druid thing over the berries.
Yeah. Yeah, you chant over the berries, imbuing them with ancient mystic energies. And they are able to stop and stabilize your bleeding. You have 2 berries remaining. Okay, so Angie and Kuntz. So Kuntz, yeah, you just the like quills are all stuck in your hands and everything. You're like picking them out and everything. And you start to feel like just not 100%, to tell you the truth. You wish you hadn't done that. Okay, so Angie,
Are they in all of my hands or just my right hand?
both of your hands have just gotten, because you know when you're trying to cut into something,
okay.
yeah, you just have to get in there pretty deep, and you just did not realize that they were so porcupine-esque. Yeah, this is really atrocious beasts right here. Okay, so Angie, you have the situation well under control there. It seems like the girl is stabilized, but she's in terrible danger of infection right here. That hammer was filthy.
She's a bitch. Sorry.
She shouldn't have hit you with the hammer.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, so now that everybody is stabilized, you can, as a party, decide what you would like to do next.
Well, we gotta head back to Bisbee's.
Yeah, let's drag these assholes back to Bisbee.
Okay.
Let's
So-
just take the weapons and leave them there.
Zartet wants to leave them there. All right, well, you have to make a decision as a party. What you would like to do.
I'd say they're such dumb people. They've already attacked us twice. We'll just tell them we never want to see them again,
Mhm.
and go the
Tell them
other
to-
way, essentially.
Okay.
Tell them
As
to
you're
skedaddle, get out of town. We'll never want to see him again.
as you're the fat guy who has gotten like the Lisa, he's like, please, we just wanted to get food. You don't leave us here. Like she can barely walk. You know, she's gonna die. You killed her with your hammer. Like, please don't leave us here. Just give us something to eat. That's all we wanted.
Oh, we have no food.
Just-
We're
yeah,
starving
do-
too.
Do I detect like am I like detecting any kind of fraudulence in that statement?
Fraudulence in this statement. Well, how wise are you? You're like a 12 there, as I recall.
Yeah, no,
No,
I'm very wise.
you're
I'm
very
a
wise.
druid.
What's your
I'm 14.
14 wisdom? All right, let's find out. You're a little suspicious of the kid, to tell you the truth, but honestly,
Like, do they eat regularly?
no.
He's a
they're-
fat
Are they
kid.
really-
He's
15 years old. and he's
Alright.
fat.
so while he is fat, he really just has like a desperate look to his eyes, and he has that weird sort of waxy look to his complexion that says that probably he has not eaten in a day or two. And the other two are like the weedy little guy. He did not have a lot to lose, and he is looking rough. And the girl just has dark bags under her eyes that have nothing to do with like the claw hammer strike. They really have had a rough week.
I wanna ask the fat kid, like, what is your deal? Fucking let me know what the fuck is going on. I can't help you.
Who do
I
you
can't
work
fucking
for?
tell you anything.
Okay.
Like,
Well,
are
you
you
said-
just out here, other adventurers out here? What's like who are you?
Okay.
Right.
What do you
What was
call
the plan?
yourself?
Steal
No,
the
so-
weapons and then what?
Yeah. All right. So Angie started to talk with him first. He
Yeah.
says, "My name's Burgaby, and we, like we're all from a village just south of Borg, and there's no food. Everything is gone. Like just all the animals have been stolen by militiamen, and like all of our crops have failed. And ever since that comet fell, everything has just turned to shit. Like roving men are coming from Vera Brink, and they're coming from Chasm Keep, and they're running all over the place and just taking everything that they can. They took all of our wheat, they took all of our mushroom crop, they took everything, even like the pickles and preserves. They didn't leave a scrap for us. And they said if we fought back, they would kill us and rape her. And so we've been just roaming the countryside for almost a week, just eating grass and drinking out of streams and trying to find anything to eat and so forth. They took away my father, and my mother's gone. And, we thought that we could get some weapons and find something to eat. And so we went after Bisbee, because everybody knows he's old and he's trusting. And I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Now look at us.
Kind of
Sounds like we're on the
context
same
question.
side here.
So
Is this
yeah.
because you've just basically described a fairly typical experience for humans in most of history. Is this
Yep.
like a typical experience for this world?
Okay, yeah, just
You
to
know,
give you some context.
Or is it
it's-
is it a typical experience for this world, or is it because of the comet?
Normally, in this region has like some warring, right? There is definitely some fighting between the Westmorians and the Morians, but nothing on the scale of what you've seen. Like it is very unusual for so many men to answer the watchtower right away. It's unusual to see like King Geordie's men out in force, and it's very unusual to find like a dead man with an arrow through his back. It's very unusual to have giant seagulls, and it does seem like their story might be true. Like it might just be that people are fleeing from Vera Brink in droves and stripping the countryside for any food or anything that they can find. So it's not usual to have this level of sort of desperation.
I have a quick question. I can't remember, but did we find a clean drinking source, and do we have water on us?
So you were able to refresh yourselves at a river, and fortunately, like you were given some canteens on your way over here, just as it's just an essential for moving around. So you were able to refresh yourselves at a river, so you have at least a day and some change of drinking water.
I think we can give the kids some water. We have no food, but we can at least refresh them.
Okay.
I could give them. I'll give them one good.
Yeah, there
my
you go.
winter berries.
Okay.
One
Who are you
winter
giving a
The
berry?
fat one?
Who's the most hurt?
The girl
Probably
is the one
lady.
who is about to die. Yeah.
Give it to the broad.
Okay. What's your wisdom again? It's 14.
Yeah.
That bitch.
Okay. So as soon as she like doesn't want to take the berry, but you put it in her mouth and say, "Chew this or else," and immediately color starts to come back to her cheeks. The blood starts seeping. The blood flow from her shoulder starts to lessen. You take the pressure off of the tourniquet, knowing that this will help there. And as you look at the arm, you can see the arm is sort of turning like an unhealthy purple color, but blood starts to flow back into it there. Zartet, as a healer, you know that she was like in very dire danger of losing the arm and might still be.
Yeah.
So it's still going to be like, in your estimation as a healer, you think 50-50 she gets to keep the arm. Kuntz really fucking maimed her with that claw hammer. Oof.
Is there any? Can I go loot those dudes that Angie killed?
Yeah, absolutely.
For
So you feel
stuff.
much better with the power of Zartet's good berry running through your veins. So I will tell you that those birds have made an absolute mess out of these guys. They have just torn them to shreds. Unfortunately, like any armor is more or less unusable there. They have just torn everything to shreds. And it's going to take some time to pick through like all the blood and gore and so forth. But at the end of the day, just picking through everything there, and in fact, even some of their weapons, like some of the swords have been bent, and they're not very good quality to start off with there. They're certainly not as good as the weaponry that you've gotten from the smith. But here's what you're able to find. You're able to find, between them, 15 silver coins.
Yes.
And about 10 copper coins, just spattered between them. Just to give you an idea of how much money that is in real world terms, you have found about $80, like between these guys. They don't have a tremendous amount of wealth and money. Most of them seem to be clad in just regular, sort of everyday traveler's garments, but some of them have sort of like, they had studded leather underneath of their garments, but it was not enough to save them from the ravages of the gulls and so forth.
Whoops. Do any of them have that tattoo?
Good.
Mhm,
So
that's exactly what I was going to ask. Yeah.
you're actually able to find on a severed arm the exact tattoo. All of them have some variant of the tattoo, but it's not always on their arm. Some of them have it tattooed sort of in the space behind their ear.
I'm going to ask the kids if they recognize this sign
Okay,
or symbol.
well, let me tell you what all you've been able to loot before you finish there. So you find, unfortunately, no kind of food on any of these guys, and even if they had any, it would have been terribly spoiled and so forth. One of them has a golden ring on one of his fingers. Then, unfortunately, one of them had like some sort of vials or something, but it's all been shattered by the gull just ripping them to shreds there. And there's little else that you can use. However, you find in sort of like the inside pocket of one of these guys another packet of that same black powder.
Is
And
is the vial belt usable?
No. And every piece of the equipment and so forth has been ripped to shreds, and you really wouldn't want to touch a lot of that. There's a lot of like feathers and scales and so forth. Like apparently all the gulls were feeding here at some point. So the but in that inner pocket you find a little packet like very similar of that black powder there, and there's another packet there, and this one it's also waxed small, but it's full of a silvery dust.
Well, would I recognize the silver dust?
Everybody knows what this dust. Actually, this is a wisdom check right there. What's your wisdom?
It is a 12.
Okay. Fortunately, you have seen this dust used before. You know that this dust can be poured onto a serious wound and will generally can perform some miraculous feats of healing. However, it causes incredible pain. And you know that if the person cannot bear the pain and passes out, that they will die as a result of it. So it's sort of a powerful healing powder, but at tremendous cost. and every time you use this powder, it hurts worse, and the chance that you will die from it becomes greater.
Okay, I put the ring on, and then I'm gonna give the 2 sachets to Zartet.
Okay. So
Does
he
the ring have any like engraved shit on it or no?
It's just a plain gold ring. It might be a wedding ring. But that said, so you put on the ring, you feel no effect whatsoever. And then Zartet, he gives you these things. Okay, Kuntz and Angie. All right, so what's next?
I'm gonna pick up my 4 swords that I belted together there, and
Okay.
our original destination was to head east. I believe it was towards a town, was it not?
That's correct.
Were we not collecting the weapons and going to Bisbee first?
Oh, sorry, yeah, Bisbee.
We are
should,
doing that, yeah.
So all of you can collect the weapons. As you're collecting everything up, the fat kid who's Burgaby says, "Please, God, take us with you. We need help. We don't
Well,
have any."
here's the
Yeah,
deal.
come with and fucking talk
Why-
to these people.
Right. Why did you steal from Bisbee when you could have helped him out? And he has food. He can feed you.
Yeah,
Like he
makes
can feed
tight
us for a
weapons,
day.
too, so,
He's like, he can feed us for a day, but then what? He won't feed us forever. And then
Then
there's-
you go get more food.
Could go hunting.
get it
with
from
his
where?
weapons.
Like I can't magic it up. We need to arm ourselves, and this was the
Hey,
only
you're
way
just
we could
dumb
think of.
kids. Shut up.
Yeah.
Come with us.
Okay, so Angie, you want to bring them with you?
I do. I want to
Yeah,
bring them to
I do too.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bisbee.
All right.
Is
So
he a
they're
hostage?
at this point. Yeah, they're 100% willing to go along with you. They're done.
They're really
they're done.
hostages?
They're lucky to be alive. The girl can barely walk. So you walk towards them, and if you want, it's you gather up all the weapons and walk back to Bisbee's smith's hut. And as you're walking, you can ask questions of them if you want. But they're kind of shell shocked and like having a tough time of it.
I want to be done with these guys.
Okay.
I don't like them.
Yep, I think that's fair. Okay, so you march back to Bisbee's hut, and you find that he has managed to create a fire inside. So he, as you're approaching, he like hears the sound of people coming, and he yells out, "Who's there? Who's that?" And you can hear that he's barring his
It's
door.
us.
No, he recognizes your voice immediately. He's like, "Oh, you're back. Like, how did your adventure go? Yeah, I'm sure you didn't find anything." And you notice that this guy
We
is
did
like
find him.
very nearsighted. He does not recognize you at first, but he opens up the door, and he's kind of squinting out at you, and he's like, "Huh? Who's that?" And then he sees.
We did find the weapons, and we found the people that stole them, and they're going to stay here and help you, or we would come back and murder them.
That's amazing. Like he's like, I didn't expect you to actually find anything. Good Lord. Let me see what you found. And he like claps. He wants to clap his hands together, but he's got his arm in the sling. So he makes that motion, and it's a little bit sad, to tell you the truth. But he's scurrying around, and he seems very happy that you have brought back all of his weapons. He's like, I would have thought you're good people. Most people would have just stolen these from me. It's just, it takes so long to make a sword. Every sword is just weeks of my time there, and I really put a lot of care and effort into these. Thank you so much. Won't you come in and have some breakfast and a drink, and let me make something for you. He's like, but here, take this rope. Lash, I've only got the one hand. Do me a favor, tie them to that tree. There's a big oak tree with a thick trunk, and he's just tie them up, take off their shirts, put their backs out, and tie them to the tree. So he throws a bit of rope to you, Logic.
Roger.
Okay, so you tie them to the tree.
Justice.
So he goes inside, and there's a lot of clanking of pots and pans and so forth, and he cooks you guys up some porridge and salt fish and gives each of you a generous slug of whiskey. And he says, listen, let me take care of something real quick. and then I'll be back. Oh, look at the pizza cat. That's fucking adorable. So Bisbee goes up to his mantle, and then coiled on the side of the fireplace is a bullwhip. And he goes out, and he's just, you guys wait here. You're not going to want to watch this. And in the distance, you can hear cursing and the crack of the whip and cries from each of them. Ooh, and you, after a while, you start counting the strokes, but after a while, it's just too much from you. And he is just lighting into these children with the whip. And then he comes back.
I think you got him, man.
Yeah, he comes back and he's like, I would have killed them, but they're only children. Like fucking vagrants. And he's like, I'll figure out what to do with them. But, yeah, I'm disgusted by the lot of them. How dare they rob me. Filth. Well, I thought about what to do with you. Whatever you want from what you've taken, you're welcome to. I don't have much money to give you, but I do have something for you. And then he goes and he sort of sneaks off to his, or doesn't really sneak off. He goes to his bed, and from under the bed, he pulls a wooden case. And it's long, about yay long, and brings it to you. And he says, I made this sword to give to a warrior who was going to get married as a gift. I had known him all my life, and he was killed, unfortunately, in a duel just 3 weeks before his wedding. And I've kept it ever since. But I'd like for you to have it. If you're not, you look like you're handy with a sword, but it's probably worth a fair penny, even if just you can do whatever you like with it. I just want you to have it, and my thanks. I'm not going to be swinging a sword anytime soon myself, and it was a little long for me in any case. So please take this, and I'm going to rustle together some food for you. I know it's scarce these days, and just if ever you need a smith, I'm not much use right now, but in a while, my arm will be back and I'll work again. Thank you so much. So he gives to you this sword. So this is a long sword. And as he presents it to you, you can tell that this sword is really something special. It's still not very ornamented, but you can see that he's spent a lot of time on it. The handle of the sword is made of a cherry wood burl that's been polished until it gleams, sort of like almost like a mirror there. And the blade is long and perfectly proportioned. It's well weighted. It is a very, very nice sword that he's given you. He's like, if you don't mind though, I'd like to keep the case. I can always make another sword for it. You don't want to carry that around with you. So he presents you with the sword, and you can do whatever you'd like with it. And he advises you, as sort of like as after he's set you up with some food and set you on your way, he advises you to watch out because he says that the roads are full of bandits, and he's gonna be like a lot more careful from now on. Okay, so yeah, you have Bisbee's sword, and if any of you wanted to keep one of the weapons that you got from Bisbee, you are welcome to.
I'm going to give all 4 of the swords back unless somebody wants one here, but it kind of sounds like we don't need them.
The short sword is a good fit for logic. Zarta, you could keep the spear if you wanted to. Yeah, unfortunately, he doesn't have any arrows for you, Angie. By the way, when you were trying to recover your arrows, so you fired one of the arrows at the bird. You were able to recover that one because it missed. Unfortunately, you're only able to recover 2 of your arrows. The rest have either broken or have just gotten lost or what have you there. So you now have 4 arrows.
So do I have 2 total or 4?
You have a total of 4 arrows remaining.
Do you have a backup weapon of any kind, Angie?
No, she's not that I'm
Negative.
aware of. Yeah. Well, you have a very
Maybe
handsome
that
sword
super
here.
nice sword.
We got a cool sword.
Yep.
Can I use it?
You can
My
absolutely,
strength is
yes.
pretty.
In fact, like a longsword is probably
I mean-
best to go to your warrior right there, who is Angie.
Yeah, you're the most trusted one.
Yep. she
All
really
right.
she really did
I'm
a
in.
number on these fucking the thieves there.
Mhm.
So you were able to grab up all that. Okay. So you set off east toward Pies, and we'll have to find out what happens when you arrive there in our next adventure. So everybody has performed admirably on this. You were able to recover the weapons of Bisbee and make an old smith very happy. As you depart, you can hear the marauders whimpering, still lashed to the oak, bleeding out like one of them is being bitten by ants and so forth. They are paying a terrible price for their crimes, and after being literally warhammered
Be
in the
good.
back, you can't feel too much pity for them. So you set off east towards Pies and make significant progress before the day is out. No one else attacks you, and you encounter nobody else. You set up camp on the outskirts of Pies, where Zartet's farm was once to the north. And if you'd like, you can continue moving on to discover more of what is going on, or you can venture into Pies and try to trade some of this silver and various things that you've got, and you can try to buy some supplies and so forth before continuing your adventure next time. So everybody has advanced halfway to level 4. Everybody made good use of their abilities this time, and congratulations. Well done, everyone. And thank you to everybody who watched and suggested using a pigeon's asshole to suck out the poison. I don't think that actually works that way. So thanks for